Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of going over my old Yu-Gi-Oh card collection, including cards that I used to play competitive Yu-Gi-Oh with. As you can see here, just like in the last video, I have a few stacks of cards that I want to look over with you. I'm not going to show you all my cards, just the first edition cards, first edition rares, and then my holo cards. And we're going to do this just for nostalgic purposes, just for those of you who would like to see someone's old Yu-Gi-Oh card collection. These are all vintage Yu-Gi-Oh cards from when the anime was first coming out. Again, a lot of first editions in here. Before we begin, I also have another treat for you. I have some old packets of some of the old Yu-Gi-Oh booster packs. These are all opened already, but I kept the packets just for collection purposes. So we can see here the pack of Pharaonic Guardian, a pack of Invasion of Chaos, a pack of Ancient Sanctuary, a pack of Dark Crisis, and a pack of Magician's Force. Very cool little packs here that I thought would be an interesting collectible item to look at. Now, let's begin with the first edition cards. I'm going to just take about a third of the stack, and we're just like in the last video, we're going to just look through these cards really quickly and only stop when we see something that's famous from the anime. Again, this is all for nostalgic purposes, just to look over a vintage Yu-Gi-Oh card deck, some of which some of the cards were used for competitive Yu-Gi-Oh. Again, a lot of repeats here, like first edition Trap Hole, first edition Fissure, useful cards for just about any deck. Have a first edition Jar of Greed, first edition Hain. And we'll see if we have any cards that are famous from the anime. Here's one. First edition Lajin, the Mystical Genie of the Lamp. A very strong card from the original anime. Let's see if we've got anything else here. And we'll just keep flipping through these until, well, there's a Blue Eyes Toon Dragon. That's a pretty cool card to look at. That's not first edition, so I don't know how I got here. Maybe just because it's one of the coolest Toon cards to look at, and Blue Eyes was always a fan favorite. So there's a very cool looking Blue Eyes Toon Dragon card. Not first edition, though. Let's see what else we got. The rest of the cards are first edition, so again, don't know quite how that got there. Another Flute of Summoning Dragon, of course, first edition. Of course, as a player of the Blue Eyes White Dragon deck, this would have been used to get Blue Eyes out onto the field. White Dragon Ritual, first edition. Cool card. Battle Ox, first edition. A very powerful card, also from the anime. Another Lajin, the Mystical Genie of the Lamp, first edition. Again, another Jar of Greed, first edition. That's the first bit of first edition cards that I have here. I'm going to break off another part of this stack. I don't want to get too many at once, or I'm going to end up dropping some of them. Let's look through these quickly as well. Again, we'll see if we find anything interesting from the anime. I'm sure I'm skipping some of them. Doesn't really matter, though. I'm mostly interested in the most famous cards. Again, another Flute of Summoning Dragon, useful for a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck. Monster Reborn, again, first edition. Another Paladin of White Dragon. Another Change of Heart, first edition. Cool card from the anime. Lord of D, first edition. That card's kind of in bad shape. Some of the cards are. Most of them are in really good shape, though, because I was quite a bit older when I was collecting Yu-Gi-Oh! As opposed to Pokemon. And that's the end of that next little stack of first edition cards. We go over the last stack of first edition cards quite quickly. Change of Heart, first edition. Quite a lot of first edition cards between the last video and this one. Another Lord of D first edition. And to get them out there with Blue Eyes, it's hard to knock Blue Eyes off the field. Monster Reborn first edition, having lots of those could bring back Blue Eyes once he does get knocked out. Another Paladin White Dragon first edition. Almost the end of the first edition cards. Okay, and there we go. That's the end of the first edition common cards. Let's go through the first edition rares. Again, rares are signified by the holographic light coloring of the letters. Let's say holographic lettering at the top of the cards, but not a holographic background. Have Starboy. We'll just go through these quickly as well and just stop if we see something that is, oh, some of these are not first edition. I guess they're first edition rares and non-first edition rares mixed together. Just stop if I see anything of particular note. Famous cards, perhaps from the anime. Mask of Darkness, interesting card there, could be quite useful. White Magician hat. Missed one there. Stray Lambs. Keeper's Watcher, first edition. Curse of Darkness, first edition as well. Some really nice looking cards there. Now for the last stack, the one that is most interesting, you can see Dark Magician there at the front. We have the holographics, including holographic first edition. You have Black Pendant, Graceful Charity, Mazera DeVille. That would be one of the more valuable cards that I have, as that is a first edition and was pulled from a pack. Very nice looking card there. Let's continue with the stack. Kaiser Seahorse, first edition. That's also a really nice pickup. Not the most powerful card, but at that time it was fairly powerful from the starter deck. From one of the starter decks. Shadow Spell, first edition. Very nice card. Statue of the Wicked. And there's a Blue Eyes White Dragon first edition from one of the starter decks. Let's take a look at that. Of course, Blue Eyes is the Charizard of Yu-Gi-Oh! He's not that popular, but still a pretty popular card. This is a really good looking card as well. Great centering. Great art design. It's not the original Blue Eyes from the anime, but still a very valuable, of course, first edition Blue Eyes White Dragon card. See what else we have here. Reaper on the Nightmare. Griffin Wing. right leg of the Forbidden One. Not a first edition though, but these are some of the most popular cards from the anime. The parts of the Forbidden One. Here we have right leg of the Forbidden One. Really cool looking card in really nice shape. Another Relinquished. We had one in the last video. We got one here. Very famous card from the anime. It looks very good. Soul Exchange Hollow. Fiber Jar Hollow as well. Card Destruction Hollow. Zaborg, the Thunder Monarch, holographic. Not fully holographic though, as the lettering is not hollow, just the background. Obviously, the rarest cards are the ones that have both holographic lettering and holographic background, like this one. This is definitely one of the most valuable cards that I have, the Millennium Shield. This was pulled from a pack. It was really good in the other deck I like to run, which was the defense deck, full of non-sacrifice 2,000 defense creatures, and this 1 sacrifice 3,000 defense card. Millennium Shield, beautiful looking card. Again, one of the most valuable that I would have. The back looks really nice. The front has great centering. Pretty much not a flaw on this. Just an absolutely beautiful and famous card from the anime as well. Millennium Shield. Definitely one of the most valuable cards that I have here that I'm going to show you today. Let's put that down there. Let's see what else I got almost at the end here. Got a hollow backup soldier. Hollow Mask of the Accursed. Always had fun using that in games. This was pulled from a pack as well. Very nice card. Skilled White Magician. Don't think it's a super valuable card, but still a very cool looking hollow card. Another fully holographic first edition Kaiser Seahorse. That would be a more valuable card. It looks very nice as well. First edition DD Scout Plane. This was pulled from a pack as well. A nice hollow card. And a first edition. First edition holographic Shadow Spell. This is from one of the starter decks as well. Ring of Destruction, fully holographic. I believe that came from one of the games as well. This might be one of the more valuable cards that I have. Ring of Destruction, holographic. Very beautiful hollow on this card. Limited edition Total Defense Shogun. I believe this also came from the Collector's Tin. There are a couple of these from the last video as well, including Obnoxious Celtic Guardian. That's a pretty nice find. And then finally, one of the most famous cards from the anime, Dark Magician with the original anime art design. This is not a first edition, but still certainly one of the most valuable cards that I have. Pulled from a Yugi starter deck. Let's take it out just like we did with Blue Eyes. Take a closer look at this card. It looks really nice. Great centering. Great art design. Not a scratch on it. A little bit of something here in the back, but I think that can just be scraped off. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe there's a little bit of a blemish on it. Still really beautiful Dark Magician card along with Blue Eyes White Dragon. One of the most famous cards from the early years of the anime. Anyway, that's it. That's all of my Yu-Gi-Oh card collection. not including all the cards that I didn't show you guys before, the common cards that weren't first edition. I had tons and tons of those. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you liked as much as I did looking over these old vintage Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Please subscribe if you have a second, and please tune in for my future videos. I'll have more Pokemon and Magic the Gathering coming. Again, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.